hello, and happy Mando Monday / CWK Monday to each and every one of you. I'm your host, Dan Z, and welcome to Coffee with Kenobi Live every Monday night at 8 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time. Wow, what a great finale, right? The finale is unbelievable. We're going to talk about it a lot. I'm sure you saw, or hopefully you saw, that this week it was so exciting and so much fun to talk about that we are going to split it up into two separate shows. I just released part one about an hour and a half ago. So again, welcome everybody. My name is Dan Z. I am your host. Thrilled to be here with you. Happy Mando Monday. This is the sleigh, right? This is the sleigh. I'm sure you've all seen this. This is the Lucasfilm holiday card. They send one out every year. I've gotten one for, almost the entire history of the show. It's been really, really exciting. And this year they sent out a digital one because obviously things are a little bit different. And it's still really thrilling. I mean, look at how gorgeous that picture is. A lot of fun. Ian actually alerted me to it on CWK Cafe. And then, boom, I checked my email right after you showed me, Ian, on Facebook, and then there it was. But we've got a lot of great people here tonight. They're going to talk about The Mandalorian. It's the week of Christmas. Tom Gross is here. Life is good, right? Colby, watch your language, buddy. Yeah, so festive. I got the R2-D2 and C3PO, 'Tis the Season Christmas shirt that I got actually at Old Navy last year. Mita says she was an emotional wreck at the end of the episode. I think a lot of people were. We definitely relate. Let's bring in everybody. Zach is here. Ian, I can't believe we're at the Mando Monday finale either. Carter, good to see you. We're not seeing you in class today because we've had a different schedule, but it's good to see you. Mary, happy Mando Monday to you. Terry, welcome. Jim is here. Hello, Jim. Mason is there piloting Danzy's Facebook account. Blake is here. Hello, Blake. And of course, as we said, Tyler is here too. Great stuff. All right. Got a lot to talk about. Facebook Live here. And it's the finale of The Mandalorian. We've also got another announcement of another Disney Plus show. Hello, Jamie. Good to have you, my friend. Howdy, Ross. Good to see you here as well. Matt. Hey, Matt. Good to have you, bud. Really nice. So good to see everybody. Again, if you bring a friend and we keep multiplying this audience, wow, that would be really amazing. That would be a great Christmas gift. So let's keep the invites coming. All right. Without further ado, we've got some Mando Monday stuff to talk about. It's our last Mando Monday of the season, and look what they gave us. This is, I think you all know what it is. It's Boba Fett's helmet, but it's based on this season of The Mandalorian. Kind of a repaint job, a little roughed up, but nevertheless, there's no mistaking the iconic visor of the Mandalorian, the original Mandalorian, even though he's not a Mandalorian. I guess it depends on who you ask and what time of day. But it's Boba Fett. That, I believe, is coming out. I know it's coming out next year, obviously, but can someone remind me? I feel like it's March. Does that sound right? Well, hello, Tyler. What's up, dude? Good to see you. Look at this. Yes, our little group is growing. How about that? Also, a brand new release, the Darksaber, the really nice Black Series Darksaber from Hasbro. This beauty is $250. That's a little steep, but it's a very, very high quality item. We had the Darth Revan one, and it's very, very cool. I've got some pictures of it. Terry, I agree. The helmet and Darksaber look nice. And Terry, I like your profile picture too. Here's some more of the inside. They come with a stand, as Mason and I noticed before. And then on the left is how it looks with the blade extended. You just add it right into there. So that's really cool. Mason is excited to see Tyler. For sure. We're always excited to see Tyler. All right, look at this baby. This is the Vintage Collection Slave 1. The Vintage Collection, of course, has really become the thing to do for 3 3/4 inch. Blake is still waiting on a Fett Black Series 6-inch and 3 3/4 inch figures from the Mando. You know what? I think those will start trickling out as time goes on for sure. I feel like they will, so I think you'll be okay, Blake. Tyler, yeah, I can't pay for that Darksaber. I'll just fight someone and claim it. Well, that's funny. That's how it works, right? Kinda. Is that one is when Boba? Yeah, the Boba the series comes out in December 2021. That's correct. And are you saying that's when the helmet comes out too? Cool. Well, it's on Entertainment Earth. So if anybody wants to log on to Entertainment Earth right now, I can't because I'm busy driving the pilot, the ship here. But if Tony wants to go check it out, it's all good. Ian is yielding. So here's the big question, and we talk about this a lot on Coffee with Kenobi this week. Sabine just turned it over to Bo-Katan, I had thought, in Rebels. So why can't they do that here? I don't know. We'll get to that. All right, so look at the scale of this thing. On the left, you can see that it comes with Han Solo and Carbonite naturally. And look at how much bigger Slave 1 is. I love that it comes with a stand. Hasbro's been doing that a lot lately. I think that's really, really cool. And then on the back shows you what it looks like from the back. Minta says she's going to trade her oldest nephew for the Darksaber. Well, Minta, I don't think you need to do that. We've got some time to pass the hat around. On the left, we've got some more Funko. We've got IG-11 that comes with the child strapped to him on the front. It comes with a T-shirt, of course. I'm guessing Ross already ordered that. Ross, I'm sure you are. On the right, we've got an updated sweatshirt of Boba Fett from the Tragedy episode. Pretty slick. And then, Carter, I thought of you. Look on the right. Carter just got a really cool Grogu pop socket for his phone. But then literally a couple days after you ordered that, Carter, look what showed up on the right. It's pretty cool. I mean, you really can't go wrong with either one. Then on the left, we've got some Hot Wheels vehicles based on the characters from The Mandalorian, as they've been doing, of course. So that's pretty fun. I forgot to tell you what was brewing, so let's pretend like I did this first. Wow, deja vu. Should we talk about Mando Monday? We already did. So that's the last Mando Monday that they're going to do for a while. But will we have a Fett Friday? I don't know. Speaking of, as everybody knows, now at least, the Book of Boba Fett is happening. It is happening. Luis, good to see you. This is wonderful end of the season of Mandalorian. By the way, beautiful. Love your shirt. Greetings. Thank you. Thank you so much. This is actually an undershirt that I put underneath here, but yeah, I love this thing. It's fun. I'm in this very fun place, at least for me, where I've got so much Star Wars Christmas stuff to wear that I actually didn't wear everything for Facebook Live this month. Guess I'll have to save it for next December. How about that? All right, so the Book of Boba Fett is official. We knew this as the post-credit sequence came out after the finale of Season 2. But it said the Book of Boba Fett. So you start wondering, is it a book? Is it going to be a TV series? What is going on? Is it? Well, I don't know. Well, I had a feeling it was Disney Plus. I think most of you probably did. And it is. And so it's going to be the next Disney Plus Star Wars series that comes out a year from now. They're in production of it right now. We know this because Jon Favreau was on Good Morning America this morning. And he talked about it. But then we've gotten into this gray area where people are wondering, hey, what about The Mandalorian? Is his story over? His story is not over. Now, at the Disney investor meeting, they were talking about the next season of The Mandalorian. What Kathleen Kennedy said, let's be really clear on this, what Kathleen Kennedy said was the story continues December 2021. So this, the new Ranger series and Ahsoka and season 3 of The Mandalorian are all in the same timeline post Return of the Jedi. And this is the timeline we've been craving for since 1983. Yes, we've gotten some great stuff in literature that's been really successful, very entertaining, but nothing really pops, at least for me, the way live action does. So we're getting 4 series set in the same time frame. So they're in production on the Book of Boba Fett now. That comes out in December. And then Mandalorian Season 3 is in pre-production. So after the Book of Boba Fett is finished and taken care of, then they're going to move on to filming and creating the Mandalorian Season 3. So we're going to get it all. And Jon Favreau did say Mandalorian Season 3 will feature the main character that we all know and love by now. So Din Djarin is not gone. We're going to have to wait a little bit for him to come back. But I think that's okay. I think that's healthy. It lets it breathe. Helps us to kind of flesh things out. Similar again to what they've done with the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Great stuff. Minta says, I have a feeling that we might see some familiar characters for the series like Luke or Ahsoka. You know what? We're going to have to, probably, don't you think? Because it's all in the same time frame. Robert Rodriguez is going to be working on this one too, which is exciting. Carter, we do not have a date for Kenobi. I'm just assuming that Fett will be the next one, so maybe I shouldn't have spoken out of turn. But I feel like if Obi-Wan Kenobi was coming out soon, we would know that. But I don't think they've even started filming yet. So I think Fett will be the next thing. I really do. Ian is going to actually do a happy dance. We get to see Amon and Boba. All right, Ian. Well, if that happens, we're all going to be counting on you. This is your accountability group. We're going to be counting on you to actually make that happen. Blake says, we're getting to the point where there will be something new Star Wars with little to no breaks in between a series, which is awesome. It is awesome. It's a lot. If we had a movie every month, that would be, I think that would be too much. But this is a different medium, a different thing. The Star Wars fires are burning very briskly. We were afraid it was fading out. And there was kind of a lull, even though the books are coming out. We knew Mandalorian was coming out. We didn't have any announcements, so now we've got a movie announcement. We know we've got oh my gosh, Taika Waititi's movies coming out too. So there's a lot to get excited about for sure. All right, Book of Boba Fett. Everybody's excited about it. How many people were worried that we're going to get more Boba Fett and not enough Mandalorian? I mean, I was a little worried about it for about a hot minute, but eventually I got over it. There you go. Share a pick in the cafe for sure. All right. So, very exciting. Again, this week on Coffee with Kenobi, we did a long conversation. I recorded it last night, actually, about the rescue. And I looked at my clock, and we'd been talking for 2 hours, and I said, you know what? I'm just going to split this conversation up into 2 one-hour shows. I'll release them both this week, but I'm going to give you time. This is a very busy week for everybody, and we want to make sure everybody gets a chance to, of course, enjoy this. But man does not live on Star Wars alone. You got your family stuff, and it's the most fun, awesome week for me of the year, which is Christmas. So we're just going to spread out, and part 2 is going to come out the day after Christmas time. So on Friday the 26th. Really, really fun. All right, so I think we need to jump into our top 5, don't we? This week's top 5 category, of course. Top 5 moments from the rescue. Yeah, I know. It was 2 hours. Isn't that crazy? Really crazy. I'm glad that season 3 is its own thing too. That's the only way to do it. And honestly, I can't imagine it would have been any other way. I mean, this character is so successful and so much fun. And I feel like there's more story to be told. Although I will say, to be fair, I feel good about where we're at. And I feel pretty good about, if this was the last one we saw of Din Djarin, I feel like they kind of wrapped it up nicely. But there's more story to be told, obviously. So they're going to do that. Okay. Number 5. Here we go. Number 5. First of all, I promised Mason I would share his number 5 before mine. Or all of his. So his number 5, he actually has a tie. His tie is the Mando, when the Mandalorian and Boba Fett walk into the canteen at the beginning together, and they show both of them walking in. That was pretty slick. And also the Dark Trooper fight with Din Djarin was also really, really powerful. You know, I usually share mine first, but everybody puts theirs up there, so I'll share mine last. How about that? Ian's number 5, the chapter titled "The Rescue" immediately made me feel good right out of the gate. Yes, because you feel like, oh, it's going to happen, because they're pretty prophetic with those. Jamie's number 5 is a TIE Fighter takeoff. Wasn't it cool to see that? It reminded me of Star Wars Squadrons, but again, seeing it in live action, phenomenal. Number 5 for Colby. Well, if that isn't the Quatka calling the Stifling slimy, I have no idea what it means, but that's just awesome writing. I'm glad that you did that. I'm assuming you looked at the captions, Colby, because I was wondering too what they said, but that was pretty entertaining. Star Wars is great about making up these crazy insults. 5 for Mary Slave One appearing right in front of the Lambda-class shuttle before they boarded it. That was a huge one. Tom talks about that on our show. But the way it just kind of rises up like that while they're looking through the portal of the Lambda-class shuttle is pretty phenomenal. Number 5 for Jim. The TIE Fighter launch, the roller coaster type of perspective was fun. Ooh, wouldn't it be cool, Jim, if there ended up being a roller coaster like that? That would be awesome. Minta's number 5, Boba Fett versus Costco. I may have misspelled her name. It was amazing to see them match up against each other. Even when he was called a clone, he didn't lose his cool. Yeah, and you got the sense that they would just fight each other to a draw, too. 5 for Carter seeing the Dark Troopers. I've talked prior to their appearance in games such as The Force Unleashed. They made them super intimidating beyond their initial appearance, then pounding them into the glass is Terminator-ish. It is. It is. That's what I was thinking about. It's kind of had a haunting familiarity to it. Jeff, number 5, the X-Wing landing. All right. Did that happen? I hardly remember. Just kidding. That's going to come up a lot. Number 5 for Ross, Costco Reeves and Boba Fett tussle in the cantina. Very good. Boba fighting Bo-Katan, says Matt. You probably mean Costco, I would assume. But yeah, that's a great sequence. Brian, Costco versus Boba was fun at 5. I've seen that one a lot, which is cool. It is a great moment. 5 for Blake, seeing the Slave One in all its glory in the opening shot, followed by the tense confrontation with the Imperial. The dialogue can lead to some awesome discussion. Yep. And Blake, I think you'll really like how we opened the show this week. 5 for Tyler, Boba versus Costco. I was happy to see more Sasha Banks in the episode. They really gave her a chance to shine. Her tornado DDT to Boba was a thing of beauty. That was a fun little callback. Tom says he loved the moment. So intimidating when he flew Slave One so close. Yep, totally not an accident either, was it? 5, the appearance of a strong and disciplined Luke. Wow, number 5. Whew, I can't wait to see what the rest of yours are. All right, I'll wait. I'll wait my turn. Tyler, Dark Trooper punching the helmet into the wall. The Beskar proved to be very valuable, I'll say. And Phil is here. Phil, good to have you, bud. Phil says, seeing the Beskar spear find the vulnerability in the Death Trooper, that was really, really fun. So now, I'm going to give you my number 5. Doing a little bit in the opposite order. For me, my number 5, I label it the Fantastic Four team-up. When these 4 ladies storm that Star Destroyer, I think there's a lot there with representation, with the fact that there are different... you've got someone white, you've got someone black, you've got someone Chinese, and then you've got who am I missing? I don't know what I'm missing. Oh, and then of course someone white. So you've got 4 different females from different backgrounds, and it was really, really cool to see that. The choreography of the fighting was incredible. It was very, very powerful, very, very prolific, and they all seemed so formidable that they could have sort of stormed that whole ship by themselves, and they didn't miss. They were crack shots. It was just a great, great, awesome sequence. It was very, very satisfying. I mean, that action sequence would be enough just for one show, honestly, but of course we got a lot more. So let's move on to number 4. Mason's number 4 is when R2-D2, our favorite little astromech, shows up, and the greeting that R2-D2 gives Grogu is really, really special. So that's Mason's number 4. And Matt's number 4 was he mentioned above. Jeff's number 4, the Death Trooper and Mando fight, which is chilling. The music really punctuated it too. My Luke number 5 is early, but my list is a progression of emotions in the last scene. Ooh, I can't wait, Terry. I cannot wait. That's going to be fun. Minta's number 4, Din Djarin versus Gideon. I was beginning to wonder when they would finally face each other. In the end, Din Djarin proved himself, even though Gideon possessed the Darksaber. Yeah, that was very, very tense. And I think number 4 for Tyler makes it extra tense. Ludwig's score, the music for these episodes are always good, but this was a huge step up. I especially love the final 15 minutes. Yeah, he really knocked it out of the park. He is turning into a Star Wars MVP, really. Number 4 for Jim is Din versus the Dark Trooper. Again, a very chilling sequence. Number 4 for Colby, Darksaber drama. I love the complexity that was introduced by Din, besting Gideon in battle. Don't think for a second that was an accident. I agree with you. And Mason, Tom loves your number 4. It's a good choice. R2-D2, where are you? You're right there with the Mandalorian. All right. Just enjoy my cinnamon Coke. Don't mind me. Number 4 for Terry, R2-D2 appearing to recognize Grogu. Yeah, and I can't help but wonder, did he recognize Grogu, or did he recognize that Grogu looked like Yoda? I don't know. I think it's very possible that he recognized Grogu from the Jedi Temple. So that's a good call, Terry. Number 4 for Ian is my only priority. We already knew this, but it still felt very powerful when Din made it clear to Bo-Katan this was about the only thing for him saving the child. That's right. The only thing that he cared about. Very powerful stuff, for sure. Mary's number 4, the Dark Troopers. The suspense of them powering up the trooper punching Din over and over in the helmet, their assault on the bridge, and that music. Oof, wasn't that something else? That was crazy. Dark Trooper power up. Oh, that was good. Again, the sequencing. Peyton Reed, the director of this, who directed the Ant-Man films, He really knows how to build that tension, build that story. It was brilliant. Tyler's number 4, the exchange between Din and Bo about the Dark Troopers. Looks like the new rightful ruler of Mandalore is going to be looking for a new mission now. Yeah. Interesting. I wonder, Tyler, we're going to talk about this, I'm sure, but there's a lot to think about with that. Carter's number 4, Bo-Katan's face when she sees that Din not only has defeated Giancarlo Esposito and has him in custody, but is also holding the Darksaber. Yeah, she kind of seems sort of frozen, and you almost caught a bit of a glimpse of vulnerability in that armor of Bo-Katan's, at least psychologically. 4 for Phil, Senec's karate move and the Fantastic Four advancing on the Destroyer. Yes. Yeah. I'm assuming you mean Fennec? Yeah, probably Fennec Shan. Can you believe that Ming-Na Wen is 57 years old? That's crazy. That's crazy. Good for her. Blake's number 4, Din versus Gideon. Seeing him use that spear was great. The fight choreography was perfect. It really was. Tom says the musical 4 is definitely a top 5 for me. Yes, I can't wait to get the vinyl of that, assuming that they have another one. Number 4 for Ross, Darksaber drama. Moff Gideon really played up dissent among Mandos. Yep, I think it's probably part of the problem. Yes, and Mason says thank you for your kind words about complimenting him on his thing. Ross says, come on, Colby Mead. Calling him out. Love it. I love it. And Tom says, good call, Carter. That was a solid gaze. It really was. I meant Darksaber, not Trooper. Too many darks. It's okay. Hey, it's all good. It's all fun. My number 4, since you asked, I'll tell you, is, where'd it go? There it is. R2, just like Mason's. The emotions, and when you hear later in the week, part 2 of the discussion of the rescue, my excitement for what happens before R2 is almost unprecedented. I get very excited. You'll see. But when R2 shows up, it's like they're giving us more. And it's R2-D2, who I really missed in this trilogy, in the sequel trilogy. So to see him back like that in sort of a prominent role to a degree, and the way he interacts with Grogu, they're both visibly excited, easily two of the cutest characters in Star Wars. So that was really, really wonderful. Ian was listening right before. Oh, great. I'm happy. Great minds think alike. That's true. I love it. All right, so let's go on to our number 3. Mason's number 3 is when Din Djarin takes off his helmet and he and Grogu have that exchange between one another, and that I think that rips out a lot of our hearts, in a good way and in a sad way too. But of course, that's that pathos is how you tell a good story. Let's see, number 3 for, oh, here they all come. Number 3 for Jeff. Gideon still trying to manipulate the situation after he had been captured, and Din trying to give the Darksaber away to Bo-Katan. Yes. Man, I can't wait to see what happens with that. Terry's number 3, Grogu sensing Luke's arrival and touching the monitor when he sees him fighting the Dark Trooper. I love that because his whole posture was very down and defeated. He almost looked like he was sick or sickly, and then it's almost like he could sense the presence of Luke or the Force, and he perked up his ears, and then he's like touching that screen, watching Luke, and there's obviously a connection there, and it's through the Force. Meantime, number 3, the post-credit scene with Boba Fett and Fennec. I had to laugh at Jabba's former henchman sitting on his throne, and the moment Boba took the throne, something told me straight away he was the next crime lord of the Outer Rim. Yep, and I'm still so torn on that. And well, again, I don't want to give away all my points I talk about on the show, but I thought he was going to not necessarily be good, but lean more towards more like the Mandalorian. But I mean, if he wants to be the crime lord, then he obviously doesn't care about that sort of stuff. I don't know. He is a man of his word, so whoever he gives his word to, I guess you're in good shape. Number 3 for Tyler, just like Mason and I, R2-D2 is such a sweet surprise. I was already emotional during the goodbye scene, but R2-D2 showing up really turned on the waterworks. Yes, absolutely. It really did. It was really lovely. 3 for Phil, the power up and execution of the Dark Troopers reminded me of Maximilian's powering up on the Disney's Black Hole from the early 80s. Phil, I was just thinking about that movie recently. I would really like to watch that again. That's a good one. We all know that when the Dark Troopers are available as Black Series, we're going to break the internet and try to get those things. Number 3 for Jim, Din versus Gideon. Yes, excellent part. Number 3 for Colby, the Doom Squad, as Tom called them. Those 4 lady warriors were fierce and they forced to be reckoned with. Such a proud moment for Star Wars. Very good. And Colby, you've already listened, or you started listening to the show, so thank you. Ian's number 3, Din without hesitation jumping in front of Gideon's desperate blaster fire to once again save Grogu. You know, I didn't make the connection that's what he was doing. Huh. Yes, very good. For Matt, it's the Mando fighting Gideon. Yep, an electric, tense moment. 3, for Mary, the ladies kicking butt and taking names. You bet. Ross, the 4 strong women characters efficiently working through the Imperial cruiser, working together so naturally. I agree. Mason and I talked about how they synced up. They're obviously well trained, and that was my number 5. Tyler, factoring Din and Gideon, especially the kick to swing the spear around. Wasn't that cool? That was super cool. Brian, number 3, Din versus Gideon. Yes, for sure. Tyler, the post-credit scene to see Boba take the throne. I didn't see it coming. To see what stories to tell the Fed is so exciting. You know, I'm still not sure yet. Bib Unfortuna, clever. Did you know that was Matt Wood? Did everybody catch that? Matthew Wood, of course, was the voice of General Grievous. He does a lot of the sound for ILM and Lucasfilm. He's just a great guy and very, very talented, great voice actor. He did Kylo Ren in Star Wars Resistance and in the Lego Holiday Special too. But he was also Bib Fortuna in The Phantom Menace. So that was fun to see him back. Carter's number 3, seeing Luke enter that dark hallway, same as his father before him. In Rogue One, we saw Vader walking through Rebel guards. Now we see Luke walk through Dark Troopers. Luke even used a Force Crush, typical dark side ability. It would be cool to see the Jedi Order move back into, let me pull that up again, the old way. And then it would be cool to see Luke and Grogu venturing back to Tython and experiencing the history of, Jude? I'm not sure how to pronounce that. It could be. Someone asked me, do you think that Luke was tapping into the dark side to crush that Dark Trooper? And I said, no, I don't. That thing is not organic. It's a droid. And I just don't. But a lot of people can make that comparison and analysis. And Carter isn't saying that either. He's saying that's typically a dark side ability. But yeah, Luke takes it and uses it for defense, for defending the people. He wasn't attacking. He was in there defending and helping. He's Jedi. Like his father before him. Jamie's number 3, the music. Yeah, the music through the whole thing, just brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Jay, first time watching. This is awesome. Well, hey, Jay, I'm glad to have you come in every Monday night. We'll happily save you a spot, my friend, for sure. Yeah, we do always have fun. It's great. Terry says, love that scene too. Boba's history with Jabba predates A New Hope. Looking forward to learning more about what his attachment to Jabba's old palace is. Yes, same here. When you first see Tatooine, you're like, what? Last night I saw Kenobi versus Maul for the first time in Rebels. That was really well orchestrated. Oh, wow. Jay, yeah, that I would say Twin Suns is maybe the best episode of Rebels, and that's a great, great show. Okay, my number 3 is, I gotta remember what I put for 3, because I think it's the same as Mason's. No, it's not. Mine is the Dark Trooper fight, just the one-on-one fight. Because through 2 seasons of The Mandalorian, we've seen how The Mandalorian is an incredible one-on-one combatant, or 1-on-4 or 5. He's just very, very tough. We know he can take care of business, but he has his hands full of Dark Troopers so much that it doesn't look like he's going to win. And he keeps getting punched in the head. Thank goodness he's wearing Beskar, which is even tougher than we imagined. Saves his life. I'm reminded of Iron Man, of the Terminator, all kinds of stuff. And then he uses his brain and his wits to make sure that he survives, and then he exits all the other Dark Troopers out into space, and you're thinking, well, that was too easy, but we'll take it. And of course, that wasn't the end. But that was just a very, very powerful thing. And again, kind of the rocket synthesizer that Ludwig Göransson uses for the music whenever the Dark Troopers are involved is really spectacular. All right. Time for number 2. Mason's number 2. And maybe I need to change this with the things. I'm writing things down in my brain out loud. Number 2 for Mason is Moff Gideon versus the Mandalorian. Like some of you said for your numbers 3 and 4, but for Mason, it's number 2. But please share your number 2. Tyler says 1 X-Wing all the way through the arrival of Luke through the fog was surprising because, and then it cut off, so you can feel free to weigh in again, Tyler. 2 for Minta is Luke Skywalker's return. The moment the X-Wing landed and the green lightsaber ignited, I was beginning to get excited. After he defeated the Dark Troopers and revealed his face, I literally screamed out loud with excitement like I was 10 again. Thankfully, I was alone, so no one would think I was crazy. Well, I did scream, and I wasn't alone. And Mason probably thought I was crazy, but I was okay with it. That's so fun. Number 2 for Jim, Bo-Katan and the other woman storming the bridge. Yeah, I love that too. Luke Skywalker, I thought he was a myth. Exactly. This is part of that myth that's perpetuated because of who Luke is. Tyler, number 2, Pedro Pascal deserves an award for this episode. Him taking off the helmet to say goodbye to Grogu is so heartbreaking. Really is. Really is. Number 2 for Terry, Grogu touching Din's face, reminiscent when Din's parents told him goodbye as they hit him. Oh, I hadn't thought about that. People are making great connections. I like that. Thank you, Terry. Colby, number 2, seeing Luke carry Grogu. I think it's poetic that Yoda taught Luke, and now Luke will teach Grogu. There's a nice kind of circle of life thing going on there, really. Number 2, Phil, seeing the reality set into a possible duel between Din Djarin and Bo-Katan for the leadership of the Mandalorian. I also love Moff Gideon's response to one X-Wing. Yeah, he was scared. Sort of like the end of the last episode, but this was even more so. He had a good reason to be. He had no idea. None of us had any idea. Number 2 for Mary, Luke, from the moment he starts through the hallway to the point where he pulls back his hood, along with that R2-D2 is coming up behind him, all the feels. Yes. Matt Din removing his helmet for Grogu. These are probably going to be 2 and 1 for everybody, and because they're both so good. Number 2 for Ross, Grogu sensing a Jedi, and then the Djarin Grogu moment after the arrival. Yeah, it was very beautiful. Very beautiful. Ian, let me look on you with my own eyes. The way Din closes his eyes when Grogu reaches out and touches his face. The first time this has happened for Din since he was a child is, for me, the single most powerful scene in all of Star Wars. It was beautifully executed in every way. Ian, I'm very glad you feel that way. And I don't think a lot of people would disagree with you. It was lovely. It was very powerful. Blake's number 2, the entire Luke sequence and Luke's. That's Luke I wanted to see since I was a kid. I agree. I think that's why so many of us were so like, ah. Number 2 for Jeff. Luke's march to the bridge through the Dark Troopers at his prime as a Jedi. The possibilities of the extent his power is at the point in the timeline. Exactly. Number 2 for Brian. Grogu and Din's goodbye, a little teary-eyed on that scene. Oh, yeah, for sure. The Quartet of Doom. Yep, I like that one, too. Number 2 for Daniel, the Jedi demolition of the Dark Troopers. Oof, great. So we'll be playing that one in our brains forever. All right, so Tyler's moving on to 1, but we're not quite ready yet, so I'll give you my number 2, and then we will go into that. Number 2, Face to Face. I picked this for the same reason a lot of you did. Again, pathos is the emotional appeal, the way to evoke emotions, good, bad, indifferent. All kinds of emotions come through pathos. And the power of him taking off his helmet, which he's done now a couple times, but now it means something because he's doing it in front of his friends and his family. He's allowing himself to be very, very vulnerable. And I don't think he's been afraid of that. I feel like he's a pretty well-rounded character. But the fact that he does that with Grogu, and Grogu touches his face, and there's that intimacy, that connection, that love that the two of them share is like a father and a son, was beautiful and touching. It ripped at your heart. But I also felt a sense of peace because I just don't know how else it could have gone. I mean, it just worked. It was beautifully done. All right, we're on to our number 1. Mason's number 1. He wrote Luke. Enough said, right? Luke. Number 1 for Mason was Luke Skywalker showing up. I have a feeling that we're going to hear a lot more about that. I know I'm going to babble about it incessantly because, spoiler, that's my number 1 too. Okay. Tyler's number 1, the face touch. The father-son connection in Star Wars is everything. Han touches Ben, Luke seeing Anakin's face. Tyler, great call, man. You're on fire tonight, buddy. That's an excellent call. No, please don't be sorry. I appreciate the enthusiasm, and you had a very insightful number 1, so thank you for sharing that with us for sure. Jay, no way Grogu is being eliminated from the show. Too much money being brought in on merchandise. Exactly. He's a cash cow. He's a cultural phenomenon that transcends Star Wars. So Grogu's not going away. I don't think. Daniel, sorry I was late. It's my birthday. We got caught up watching Solo on Blu-ray. Okay. Happy birthday, Daniel. Let's hear it for Daniel, everybody. Happy birthday to you. Yay. Good to have you here, buddy. Honored that you would celebrate your birthday with us. Very kind of you. Minta's number 1, Grogu's farewell. I knew this moment was coming. It was beginning to get to me. It really hit me when Din Djarin removed his helmet willingly, allowing Grogu to see his face for the first time. He could feel the connection he made with him, putting his old beliefs aside and making the bond stronger. That's the moment I was a big puddle of tears. Yep, and very well said, Minta. It's a beautiful scene. One that we'll never forget. Number 1 for Jeff, the whole scene from when Luke comes onto the bridge to when he leaves with Grogu touches so many different feels. Absolutely. Absolutely. Matt, Luke beating up the Dark Troopers and Grogu watching him on the monitor. Epic. Total epic. Colby, don't be afraid. That's the last thing that Din says to Grogu before he lets him go. It is, isn't it? Because of Ahsoka, Din knows that Grogu's fear could mean terrible things for him, and as his adoptive father, he must do all he can to help avoid those things. Those are the last words to his son, Pure Beauty. It really is. It really is. And I believe that we'll see each other again. I hope that we'll see each other again. But again, I talk about that a lot on the podcast. You'll just have to tune in. Number 1 for Terry. Din's gaze at Grogu as he, R2, and Luke left, and the way that it kind of closes, you're just like, but you feel again, the fact that they could end it like that, but it still felt satisfying. You were wanting more, but it felt like an appropriate ending to the story. I just really appreciate that because I feel like stories sometimes aren't ended because we want to keep extending things and extending stuff because it makes money and people are talking about it and we don't have a lot of new ideas. But in Star Wars, we do. And they continually raise the bar and put us in a place where, I mean, we're here talking on Facebook Live about it, online, with our friends, with our family, celebrating the saga in a beautiful way. You know, I was originally kind of bummed that there was no Christmas movie this December for Star Wars because we had that for so many years now. But I think this made it okay. The Mandalorian made it okay, at least for me. Okay. Terry, did we mention yours? Yeah, we mentioned yours. Tyler's number 1, Luke Skywalker. I never expected him to show up on the show. I used some words that aren't CWK appropriate. When X-Wing flew in and the green lightsaber came into frame. Seeing him mow down those Dark Troopers without breaking a sweat was the Luke I've always wanted to see. Yeah, I agree. I'm trying to curb my enthusiasm until I get to my number 1. Brian's Gotta Leave. His number 1 is the entire Luke reveal. Probably my favorite scene since 1883. Honorable mention is the Fett post-credit scenes. What? Well, Brian, good to have you, man. And I'm glad. I knew you were a big Luke fan, so that's super cool. Phil, number 1, when my son called Luke Skywalker as soon as the X-Wing arrived, our whole family was impressed with his prediction since he has special needs. It was as though the Force was with him. Oh, that's beautiful, Phil. Thank you for sharing that with us. From the time that until Grogu leaves with Luke is the very essence of why we all love Star Wars and that Star Wars is for everyone. Amen to that. And again, thank you for sharing that, Phil. It's wonderful. Ross is number 1. The X-Wing flying in similar to Slave 1. You have a good idea what's coming. Pay off with Luke and R2. You know, and I didn't even think about the fact that the astromech is needed for the X-Wing, but it just made sense. Ian, number 1, I'll see you again. I promise of that. I am certain. Me too. Number 1 for Mary. Din removing his helmet so Grogu can see his face. Grogu's touch. Din's face as Grogu watches him over Luke's shoulder. Yeah, it was pretty special. Number 1, Bo-Katan's complexities with the Darksaber. She's become one of my top favorite Star Wars characters, so I'm super excited to see where her story goes next season. Yes. Mason is a happy guy. Daniel, the Skywalker X-Wing appearance. Yes. Number 1 for Jay. The look on Moss' face watching Luke moving in. Wasn't that great? And thank you for bringing that up. That was super, super cool. Super cool. Mary's also extending a happy birthday to Daniel for sure. Blake, the good vibe between Grogu and Din. Their relationship has grown into something we can all relate to, and to see them part ways was important for them both, but even more heartbreaking. Yes. Ian says, well said, Colby, and I agree. Carter, Grogu and Din just felt like Star Wars. Well shot. The music was perfectly structured. And seeing Din's character arc is phenomenal. P.S. I hope Din gets Slave 2. Ooh, wouldn't that be cool? Slave 2. How about that? Solstice, baby. Jamie, the entire last 10 minutes, all too good to break it up. 5 choices, not enough. Yep. Someone had said to me, we need a top 10 for this week. Maybe it was Mary. I don't know. But my number 1, I mean, come on. X-Wing. When the when the X-Wing shows up on that screen, until we know for sure that it's Luke, I was holding my breath. And I was saying, oh my gosh. Like I have goosebumps surging through my body right now. And then once I realized it was Luke, because you want it to be Luke, but you're not sure if it's actually Luke Skywalker or not. And then when it's actually real and you see him moving people around with the Force and the crush and just the poise and the Jedi-ness, I raised my hands in the air and I said, it's Luke Skywalker. It's Luke Skywalker. And I was so excited. I can't even, like, I'm not a big fan of reaction videos because I feel like it's hard to be genuine when you know, like, people are watching you. But maybe this is how people feel all the time for reaction videos, and God bless them, because I was so excited to see Luke Skywalker. That was mind-blowingly great. And I go even more crazy on the podcast this week. So wonderful. So wonderful. Matt, I've just recently discovered CWK. Thanks for all the good content. Have to go. Hey, Matt, thanks so much again. We'll save you a seat every Monday night, my friend. Happy to have you here. So yeah, that was a spectacular finale. Spectacular. Mary, it was me. All things our group has said tonight were on my long list. Hard to break it down to just 5. It was. Phil's hoping that since he bought the Razor Crest project, we'll see a rebuild. I would think so. But again, it's such a stalwart ship that even if they don't rebuild it, that collectible will never be anything but awesome. Terry's honorable mention, recognizing the reuse and the Kenner toy staff for Bib Fortuna at Jabba's Palace. Nice. Very nice. Minta says there's so much to choose from. There really was. There was a ton to choose from. So next week, you're probably wondering, well, gosh, we've been counting down Mandalorian. What are we possibly going to do next? Well, next week's top 5. This one's going to be hard. I'm just going to warn you. Top 5 moments from not the Mandalorian chapter 16, but from the entire second season of the Mandalorian. That should say, I picked the wrong one. You know what? Let me see. Hold that thought, everybody. Let's get rid of this. Okay, there's Dan. I think I uploaded the wrong picture. So, as you can next week. There we go. That's what you call a little bit of editing on the fly. The top 5 moments from the Mandalorian season 2. Yes. Mithril is familiar with it, and who knows the vehicle black market? Who knows? Exactly. You never know. Chloe says, I just described his same reaction while watching practically beat for beat. Oh, yeah. Laughter, tears, crying. But next week, you're going to have to take everything from season 2 and break it down to your top 5 moments. Woof. I honestly feel like I already know what my number 1 is, but I don't know. I'm going to have to go back through my old list and kind of see. Only 5 for the whole season? I know. I told you it was going to be challenging. See? It's going to be fun. Yeah, Mary, did you keep your notes from each week? Oh, boy. Just go back and watch the old shows and catch it that way. It needs to be a top 10, but I don't know if we'll have time. It's going to be fun. Todd says, I got to rewatch season 2 for homework. Way to twist my arm about it. Hey, I am happy to help. Happy to help, everybody. Great. Terry says, you asked the impossible. Terry, you're on fire tonight too, man. All right. We got a little bit of time left. A couple of days. How many days till Christmas, everybody? 4 days till Christmas, 3 days till Christmas Eve, my favorite day of the year. Mason echoes strong feelings. This is also from The Empire Strikes Back. Lisa says it'll be easy. I'll have my top 5 ready for sure. Possibly, maybe. Okay, Lisa, challenge accepted. We'll see. Colby, Dank Ferrick. I'll just have to rewatch season 2. Look at that, Dank Ferrick. That's become like the popular nom de plume of using language that normally wouldn't be on Coffee with Kenobi, but this is sort of like the G or PG version of it, so I will accept that. Hey, let's jump into Ask Dan Z, shall we? That sequence in that video? Watch it again. I'm going to play that part again really quickly. Watch when I'm walking through Rancho Obi-Wan's shelves, not the library, but the collectible shelves, and watch my face and see if you can tell what I'm actually saying. Okay? Here it goes. Maybe it's hard to tell in that thing, but I was actually going, blah, blah. I was just mouthing it because I didn't really know what to say. This was before I was even more of a ham than I already am. So I was just mouthing stuff. So my wife always is like, why don't you just say something real? I guess I'll have to do that the next time we go to Rancho, I guess. But pretty fun. Okay. Cameron, what's your number 1 Star Wars gift you're asking for Christmas? Honestly, Star Wars is a gift that keeps on giving to me. I'm very blessed to have the position that I have, to be a Star Wars influencer and work with a lot of companies. So I get a lot of cool stuff a lot of the time. But, I don't know. I would really like to get that Mandalorian helmet. Obviously, it wouldn't show up for Christmas anyway because they're still working on them. But that would be the number 1 thing that I would like to have personally. Blake says, what other hero from the OT would you want to appear like Luke did? I would love to see Han show up, Harrison Ford show up, and have a confrontation with Boba Fett. That would be epic to me. That would be great. But again, that's why I don't speculate, because then I'll just be disappointed because it won't happen. So I don't know. Ian, total speculation. When do you think we'll get season 3 before or after Celebration? Well, Celebration, that's a good question. That'll be in 2022. Mando will be there too. I bet you it'll be after. Honestly, Ian, that's a good question. Phil, did I already ask you if you've been to Skywalker Ranch? If not, we need to talk. I share my pics from when I went for an education conference. You know, Phil, I do want to see your pics. That's the only place I haven't been. I've been to Pinewood Studios. I've been to Lucasfilm 4 times. I've been to Rancho Obi-Wan. I've been to a lot of really cool places. I think I said Pinewood Studios, blah, blah, blah. But I've never been to Skywalker Ranch, but it's definitely something that's on my list. Definitely. Minta, after hearing that M. Night Shyamalan wants to direct a Marvel or DC movie, could you see him directing a Star Wars movie? Personally, I don't think he could handle a tall order to appeal to the fans, but that's me. You know what? I would hope that whether it was M. Night Shyamalan or anybody, if they had a good story to tell, they would just tell it and not worry about what the fans did or didn't like, but just sort of trust their guts and trust their knowledge of Star Wars and their passion for it. But it would be daunting, because we all know, Minta, that Star Wars fans can be very critical and discerning, which is sometimes good, sometimes it isn't. Oh, now Mason's in on it. Ross, what new Star Wars book do you think will make the biggest impact in 2021? Star Wars book? Well, I mean, I guess I'm allowed to talk about it now, but Charles Soule's first book for the High Republic is spectacular. Obviously, it's the first one to come out that we know of, and that one is going to be great. People are going to love that, and Ross, I can't wait to see what you think about that one as well. All right, Phil, we will talk. I love that. When there are Star Wars celebrations, do you have meetups? I love to meet up with some of the other members. I just joined this semester. Well, being part of the Cafe and the Alliance, the awesome community you've constructed has been phenomenal to be a part of. Carter, you are welcome anytime, my friend. It's great to have you, for sure. And yes, we do have big Star Wars meetups with other podcasts and listeners, and we're definitely going to have one. We have one scheduled for this year. It didn't work out because of the pandemic, but it's definitely something that we're going to do for sure. And I'm glad that you mentioned all these things. You're a great part of the community. So many of you are here, members of the CWK Alliance. So you may have heard our pour over for this week, which is our top 5 Christmas movies. Last week we did top 5 Christmas songs. This week we did top 5 Christmas movies. And then next week we actually take a break from top 5s and we talk about the Disney investor meeting, but from the Marvel perspective. We kind of dive into Marvel comics because we haven't gotten to do that in a while. So that was pretty fun too. And again, as I mentioned, Coffee with Kenobi just released part 1 today of The Rescue. Part 2 is going to come out after Christmas time, where you can hear me scream and get excited about Luke Skywalker for at least 10 or 15 minutes. And of course, I'm joined by my good friends Tom and Corey, so you know it's going to be a fun show because the three of us have such wonderful, wonderful chemistry. So next week, of course, we're going to chat about our top 5 favorite moments from all of season 2 of The Mandalorian, which is going to be great fun. Tyler, after our last Embender should have been the easiest thing to adapt, but he messed it up. I'd rather stay away from franchises. All right, fair enough. Fair enough. We'll see how it goes. We'll definitely see how it goes. You know what, Ian? I can't wait to meet all of you guys in Anaheim too. So Nick, good to see you, brother. Nick says some of the best things about Celebration, Carter, is the meetups. It sure is. Carter got his notification from Amazon that his book comes from on the 12th for the High Republic. Extremely excited. Yeah, Carter, you're gonna love it, man. I can't wait to see what you think. Jeff and everyone, have a very, very Merry Christmas. If you're still shopping, if you still got a couple days, like I need one more gift for that stuff. If you're planning a vacation for next year, be sure to go to MEI and MEI-Travel and tell them Coffee with Kenobi and Dan Z sent you, because Becky and Mankin and her team are phenomenal. They're so much fun, and they make your vacation extra special. They know all the ins and outs. You really can't go wrong. Jim, thank you, buddy. I hope you enjoy the holiday. I know that you will. You guys are just so much fun. I'm really very grateful that I'm able to share the airwaves with all of you. Ross, Merry Christmas to you. Be safe, have fun. Tyler, you as well. Ian, oh my gosh, it's great, man. I'm so excited for Christmas. I'm so excited for Star Wars and celebrating with this wonderful community that we all have. And Merry Christmas to you, Phil. All of you have a wonderful Christmas. Mason, you can come in. Mason came down to say hello wearing his the child jammies. Yeah, we hope you all have a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. We will see you next Monday. Whew.
May the Force be with you.
Hey, may the Force be with you. I couldn't think of a better way to end it. Thanks, everybody. Enjoy that Christmas. Get to sleep early on Christmas Eve so Santa can come to your house. See you later.